Good afternoon, YouTube. It's Tuesday, March the 2nd, and I think I'm going to start my next learning series. I'm going to do it on pipe organs, since I have 2.5 complete church pipe organs sitting here in my barn, the back half of my barn, in the corner. The console is under this plastic here. I'll try to get that unburied and show you what that looks like. I've started working on that. Rewired the entire thing, put in different key switches and such like that from a couple of the different organs, and expanded it so that it could control both pipe organs. Somewhere back in that mess are 2 blowers. Pipe organs require air, about 5 to 6 inches of mercury, or inches of water column. I guess it would be inches of water column, is how they measure the blower. So it's not a lot of pressure, but it's a lot of volume. You know, the one blower puts out, I think, 950 cubic foot a minute. So it moves a lot of air at quite a bit of pressure, quite a bit of static pressure for a blower. Some of the stuff you can see back here, I'll try to point out. These gold colored pipes here in the back, these are facade pipes. These are made out of organ pipe metal, but they're painted with a gold color because they would be shown, they would be seen on the outside of the organ. These pipes right here leaning up against the post are only a partial rank. A rank is a set of pipes that would be played on the keyboard. Most of them are 61 notes because there are 61 notes on the keyboard, or manual. Those pipes there actually came from the half of an organ that I have. Mostly I got that for parts. These grayish colored pipes here, as well as these down here and these over here, they're all internal pipes for the organ, not ones that you would actually see. Some of the other parts, this funny looking thing here, let me zoom in. This is actually one of the switching units from the organ with the gold pipes in it. That came out of Summit, New Jersey. That's what turned the different sets of pipes on and off. This pile here, starting with this unit and down, are wind chests. You can see them back here and here. This is actually a shade motor, what they call a expression shade motor. I'll get into the details of everything a little bit farther when I go into the details of how stuff works. Back here, these are the base pipes from both organs. One is a Buell that came out of Utica, New York, and that's this darker color set back here. And this lighter colored set is the one that came out of Summit, New Jersey. And there's basically just a lot of parts. Down here, I'll use my handy dandy flashlight. There's some extra keyboards and other miscellaneous wooden parts here that I've saved in case I need them when I put the thing back together. This unit right there is a small bellows, pressure bellows, and that's basically the parts. Now I'll get into much greater detail on how everything functions together in future videos. Right now I'm gonna try to unbury the console and show you what's inside that and what makes that work. Alright, I got the console uncovered. As you can see, it's pretty dusty. There were some parts that I haven't finished putting together yet. This is actually key contacts for the bass pedals out of a different organ that I'm going to use in this one because it's metal and it's a more modern design. But basically how this works is these metal fingers sticking out here is where the bass pedals or bass manual of the organ would touch. And you can see as you press down on this, these different little parts swing back and forth. Basically what you have is this piece right here is conductive, and it's connected to positive voltage through this big thick wire right here, which is usually about 12 volts, 10 to 12 volts. So as you press down on the pedal, I don't know if you can see, but there's little fine wires right here. This rocks over and touches them, and that makes contact and plays the different notes for the organ as you play the different pedals. Now the key manual works basically the same way, the key switching system under the manuals. Now each one of these phenolic, or I think they're phenolic, or maybe they're wood. No, they look like Bakelite or phenolic, is controlled by one of these solenoids down here. And as these solenoids pull in, it brings those little wires closer to these contacts. So if they're back towards the camera like that, then this little wires don't touch the wire, touch this other wire, this actuator rod, when you press the key down. So no sound is made by this particular pipe that would be connected to this wire. Then when the solenoid, when you switch the tab to turn the solenoid on, it'll pull that, and now this is closer, so as you press the key, it will touch this little wire. I don't know if you can see it moving away from that. When the bar touches the wires, it actually pulls them away from this little insulated stopper here. So that's basically what would turn on the pipe and off the pipe. Now this is an electro-pneumatic organ, which means electricity controls air. Some of the organs are just straight pneumatic, where there would actually be a little valve worked by this, and it would be a completely different setup. But there's some other parts here. I picked this up at a pawn shop. It's a Magnehelic. It measures inches of water pressure. So I want to put that in the organ so that I can see how much pressure the blowers are making, because I'm actually going to have two blowers, because this is two organs and I don't want to buy one big blower. So, and then this isn't completed yet, but this is what's called a setter board. Each of these is a little switch, and you have what's called thumb pistons, which are like kind of like a memory. Each one of these is a rank of pipes. For this would be the number 1 thumb piston, this would be the number 2 thumb piston, 3, 4. Each one of these is one of the ranks. Now the ranks have names like Borden or flute or trumpet or such like that, and each one of these would be labeled with one of those names. And if the switch is on, when you push this thumb button, it will turn that rank on. It's basically, instead of having to flip a whole bunch of tabs, which I'll show you in a minute when I open up the console, what the tabs are, instead of having to flip a whole bunch of tabs in the middle of a performance, you can have 4 different settings of the tabs and just push one button underneath the underneath the manual, the thumb piston, and it will set everything all at once. Now, there's basically 2 of these. I believe the red ones are going to be for couplers, which I will explain, and the white and black are basically going to be the same. I couldn't buy white switches, so I had to buy more switches. Basically all these black ones are new because, like I said, I'm combining 2 organs together. So there's basically 2 of these drawers, and they actually fit underneath the lowest manual on the organ, and they'll slide out so that you can set those. So that's basically that, and I'll clear up the top of this and get this opened up so you can see inside.